The Lazarus Heist by Jeff White, presented by me. Look, just another day at the bank until $1 billion almost vanishes. From the depths of cyberspace, a group of hackers called the Lazarus Group is supported by the North Korean government. They had orchestrated a very daunting digital heist that would shock the global financial system and reveal just how vulnerable our world had become. This is because of how our world is advancing in technology as we gain phones, computers, new cameras, AI, all of that. And these hackers use these technological advances to their advantage by stealing money and using it to their own benefits. Characters: the Lazarus Group, the narrator, the North Korean regime, the accomplices, the investigators, and the victims. There is no clear protagonist that I've read in this book. There's only one clear antagonist that is narrated by Jeff White. The antagonist, obviously, is the Lazarus Group that is orchestrated by the North Korean regime led by Kim Jong-un and his commanders. The accomplices are people that work for the Lazarus Group. Investigators are law enforcement and cybersecurity that track down the Lazarus Group activities and how much money they stole. And the victims of these stealings are the Bangladesh Bank, Sony Pictures, and WannaCry ransomware. The book describes the 2014 cyber attack on Sony Pictures caused by the Lazarus Group. This event marks the beginning of a series of insane cyber heists targeting a multitude of different areas in the world. The book details the 2016 Bangladesh bank heist, where hackers stole over $80 million, and the 2017 WannaCry ransomware attack, which disturbed the healthcare system globally. These operations analyzed the group's sophisticated tactics and the challenges faced by the international law enforcement in holding these accountabilities. So basically, like I said before, it's just a group that's hired by a group that's operated by the North Korean government to steal money and use that money to their own benefits to help the North Korean government in population, nuclear warfare, arms race, all anything to help the North Korean government thrive, go from struggling to thriving. This is a non-fiction book based off of the true events of the North Korean cyber hackers, the Lazarus Group. The book explores how the isolated nation turns cybercrime to gain benefits in stealing money from banks digitally. The Lazarus Group uses techniques of phishing, malware, and money laundering, and is motivated to help fund the regime's nuclear program and sustain the country's elite. Same thing like I said before, um, it really helps the government thrive because as of right now, we see how the country is struggling because of its birth rates decreasing and that people are dying earlier than before, and how Kim Jong-un is getting a lot of people under his control, and a lot of people are trying to flee the country due to his cruel rule as a communist dictator, authoritarian dictator. And Kim Jong-un wants his country to thrive by using the money to get more missiles, more nuclear weapons, more guns, anything to help the army, anything to help the army thrive and get stronger and become the best communist country in the world. How's it structured? The book contains 15 chapters and a little over 600 pages. Each chapter of the book discusses specific events and moments of the Lazarus Group. It also describes the activities and the financial context of from the group. The book guides the reader through the group's historical context of the crime and details of the cyber attacks. So, Jeff White helps us dive into this group by discussing how the group operates and how they manage to steal a huge amount of money and are able to hack into some of the best cybersecurity in the world. Is the mystery solved at the end? At the end of the book, the case or mystery is not solved. This is because how the main hackers of the Lazarus Group got away and still roam the world today, and they remain at large. The stolen money still remains missing, and the people that were caught are just the accomplices of the hackers or any associates of the regime. These hackers are still being searched for and will later face US justice. Yeah, so they're still walking on this earth. They're not in jail. They're still stealing money. They're probably hiding in the world somewhere. We do not know where, but they're hiding. And they're going to plan to steal more money or hack some of our best security systems and able to leak and gain government documents or anything related to our government or other countries' governments, and will soon find ways to use it to their benefit. So, so we pray that, so we pray that the law enforcement and cybersecurity are able to find these people and turn them in, as they might cause any further damage to the world. Personal connections. So Lazarus Heist reminds me of the Ocean's movie trilogy, The Army of Thieves, and The Interview. I feel that these are related because of how they accomplish planning and executing heist and the role of the communist government. Oceans 11, 12, and 13 were my favorite uh, as it starred Brad Pitt and man, what's his name? George Clooney, that's right. Okay. Brad Pitt and George Clooney. And what I like about this movie is how they gather a group of people and they plan these heists to gain money for themselves, some for revenge, some because they're desperate, and a bunch of other things. The Army of Thieves is somewhat the same, as they get a group of people to steal money for their own benefits and use it to their own will. Both of these movies involve hacking, but they're just hacking the security cameras so that the actual heist begins inside where the robbers are undetected. The interview, well, because there's an actor that acts as Kim Jong-un, and as you can see in the picture, it has a bunch of North Korean flags, and a lot of communist propaganda with Joe Rogan on it. Academic response. There was some difficulty reading this book because of the amount of pages and pages for every chapter. The book is lengthy, but has very detailed information. The interesting about the author's writing technique is the way how he explains these complicated and complex cyber attacks into an understandable explanation to people for a way to people that are interested to understand and to help people who do not have any knowledge of cybersecurity. So he writes just to explain, yeah, there's a lot of complicated stuff, how these hackers could have used a green screen, or how they used binary code. And Jeff White explains it very well how we, the reader, can understand, and how the readers who probably don't know anything about technology or have some little to no knowledge about technology and explain to them well. Recommendations and final thoughts. I recommend this book for anyone that doesn't like anything gory, like bloodshed, eating skin, all that gross stuff. And people who are very interested in heist, stealing money, technology, cybersecurity, or anything related to technology. I really enjoyed this book. I I actually didn't think North Korea could actually have hackers because they're always seen as a struggling country. But now since I've read it, I'm like, oh man, they do have hackers, and their hackers are really good. So gotta watch out. And that is it.